Hi people, how are you? Esther here. I'm in the kitchen. I just thought of starting this vlog here as I make some tea. I want to have some, so my tea is boiling and it's actually ready. I want to have some moment with you. I want to have some devotion and I thought of, I've actually had some devotion. I want to just share a bit of my reflections that I've had. Karibu sana to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Esther of Esther Ken's Lifestyle, and I'm glad that you clicked that video. Kindly stay there and just wait. Maybe I can just share what we're going to talk about. It's actually a reflection of just how God has done, what God has done in my life, and for sure God has done a lot, and just where I've come from. I've really come from far, and obviously I believe that with the Lord, as long as I'm with God, I'm gonna go even much far. So now I want to just prepare this tea. I just want to finish. As I take my tea, I'll be with you, as I just share this, and I hope you will get to enjoy this content. I hope you will get to find at least learn one or two things through my process, because that's actually where I'm here. That's why I'm here. I just felt like it's good to just share my life. So now I want to share some of the lessons that I've learned through different seasons of my life, because I've learned quite a number. But for today, I just want to share the three most impactful, the three most the ones that have for sure really impacted my life. And so one of them is that getting to know God, and not just knowing God, but just having to know and get to have a relationship with God. That is one of the key things in anyone's life. As in, getting to know God is a treasure that I don't know if cannot be compared to any other. And I'll actually share about how I got to get into a relationship with God. Yes. So I think what I can actually talk about is just how God planned my life. This is what happened actually. I finished my high school at age 17, and by the time I finished, I didn't have my mom didn't have fee to take me to college. And so what I did, I remember just telling myself that I have a lot of time to explore the world. And so first I visited my sisters. I am from a family of 8 members, and so 6 of us are actually girls, so I could visit my sisters from one place to the other for the first 2-3 months after now high school, up until I felt like this is it. And I remember sharing with one of them that actually I shared with around 3 that I now want to find a job, something that I can do. But one of the things that I had told them, one of the jobs that I told them not to get me, you may have guessed it right. I told them, sitaki kazi ya house girl. I do not want, anything to do with housework, house girl. And so, obviously, I think for the reasons are obvious. I don't think there are people actually who the house. Being a house manager or a house girl is not one of the things that when you're in school you're I would like to become a house girl when I grow up. No, it's actually not. And so God in his own ways found it okay to actually get me there, because I always believe that God has his way of taking us through processes, and that was one of his way of connecting me. And so he connected me to these wonderful people, a couple that really were just my best. And I remember when my sister brought those news, I remember my sister, the one I used to stay with, used to bring me different job opportunities, and she could tell me I've heard about this, I've heard about that. But now when it came to Of course, I used to say no, especially for the house manager job. But when I came to this part, when I think I was described to the couple, I was like, I had this, yeah, and that's why I joined them. So I did not know, of course, what God wanted. But when I went there, it didn't take me, I think, 2 months, because I just went, and I just felt so at home with them. No one could tell that I was actually not their sister. They treated me so well, and I got to admire, I just got to admire their lives. They had a lot of peace. They were so happy and all. And they used to have these meetings, they used to have fellowships and everything, and I used to just, I really wanted to be like them. And so, of course, I got to know the secret, and I gave my life to God. They presented me to God, and they just walked with me and helped me, to form a relationship with God. And for that, I am always, always grateful. I do not know where my life could be. Like, I sit down and look back, and I wonder if for sure I did not give my life to God at that time, what would have happened? I mean, I don't even want to think about it, yeah? But I'm always so grateful, because you do not know who you are. I believe that I wouldn't have known who I am, really, if I did not meet God, And that actually connects or relates to the second point, or the second lesson that I also want to share, and that I've been reflecting on, which is identity, getting to know who you are. There are so many things that defines us as human, and especially that time that I was living with them, there are things that could come and show me like, Esther, you're just a house girl, and I could see them going to work and just miss such kind of life. But I remember struggling with that. But I came now to know it's actually the lessons that I'm actually supposed to share, or that I'm sharing, are lessons that I've come to learn, with time. I did not just get them so fast. But I now know that I am not who I am because of what I do, which is something that mostly the society defines us like that. Like, the society shows us that if you're a house girl, then you're not, like a woman enough, or you're not enough, or a man enough if maybe your job is maybe, maybe house boy or shamba boy or something. And I also got to know that you're not who you are because of the level of education, yeah? And those are some key points that for sure I've come to appreciate. Like, for example, I imagine if I was defined by the job that I had. After I stayed with this couple for 2 years, joined college. And after college, I studied early childhood education, which is not what I actually started. Like, it's not the career that I got first. But I went to work at a 5-star hotel, yeah, which I actually worked up until Corona came. I get to look at it, and I'm like, if for sure I had found my identity in working at a 5-star hotel, I surely would have maybe fallen into depression. And later, like, just looking at the processes, if I was defined by what I've been through, then right now I couldn't even be here speaking to you and telling you some of these lessons. But wait until I get to tell you who I am. I'm so grateful to just know that I am not all that, but I am who God says I am. I look back and I'm like, I would have hated myself so much, even if I was to even listen to what people were saying about me, because sometimes you're also defined by people, by the society. Esther, unakuanga mwoga. Esther, you're that, you're this, but I refuse to be defined by that. I believe I am who I am. Like, I am who God says I am. And sometimes when I feel like I'm allowing myself to be defined by the society, I get to go into the word of God and just see, who does God say I am? And of course, God says that I am His creation. And for sure, when you know that you're God's creation and that you're God's own, what is it that would make you feel unworthy? We will delve into identity one of these days. But for now, let me get to share the third lesson. The third lesson that I've also learned is about getting to embrace the people that God is bringing our way. That now, I think now that came to me. I'm sorry, that came to me as such an important thing. As in, you cannot do this life alone. Yeah. Like for example, the couple that I'm sharing, the ones that God brought to my life after now high school, if I did not get to embrace that, if I did not get through that process and embrace them, helping me being accountable to them, I don't still think I would have emerged like who I am today. And that's something that I'm still learning. It's something that I'm continuing to embrace. The people that God is bringing into my life. You really cannot walk alone. But also there's this other thing that I'm learning about knowing who to place where, because there are also people who are toxic out here. There are people who don't wish you well, but now I'm learning to embrace these people who are wishing me well, who want to walk with me this journey, who, someone who will tell me that, Esther, I don't think you did well there. It's good to just learn to be corrected. And I think so far those are the lessons that I actually wanted to share, and I hope you've at least gotten to know more about me, that I'm not perfect, that I've gone through processes in life and seasons, but I embrace them. That even right now as a stay-at-home mom, I get to embrace this process, because I do know that this does not define me. Someone can look at me and say, you're just a stay-at-home mom, but that's that person, that's what they think. But I am embracing this process because I also want to know what God wants to do with me, like what God wants, what God wants me to learn. And I'm trying as much as I can to grasp that which I should, to be present to my children, to be present to my husband, and just trying all that I can to be really who God says I am. Yes, and I think I can speak to somebody out there. You're a lady or even a man who maybe thinks that who've been feeling so down because of maybe the circumstances that you've gone through, and to tell you that it's good to trust the process, and it's good to just hang in there and appreciate whatever it is that you're going through life, and enjoy your growth process. Until next time, may God's grace be upon you, favor and love.